African American, Latino, and Native American teachers, otherwise known as teachers of color, are of vital importance to students of color in today's schools. They are exemplars of possibility to students who could possibly thrive more with a teacher who looks just like them. This video will address the shortage of teachers of color in schools, its historical roots, the proposed reasons for the shortage, the benefits of having more teachers of color, strategies proposed by policymakers to increase the number of teachers of color, efforts made by states to increase the numbers, and finally, my views on this subject. Since its inception in 1909, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People has strived to make advancements in the areas of politics, education, and economics, especially for African Americans. The mission of the NAACP is to ensure the political, educational, social, and economic equality of rights of all persons and to eliminate race-based discrimination. 3 white activists who wanted to kickstart the organization, Mary White Ovington, journalist William English Walling, and Henry Moskowitz, met in New York City to discuss the formation of the organization. A solicitation was sent out to approximately 60 prominent African Americans, and the organization was officially founded by a diverse group. W.E.B. Du Bois, Ida B. Wells, Archibald Grimke, Henry Moskowitz, Mary White Ovington, Oswald Garrison Villard, William English Walling, Florence Kelley, and Charles Edward Russell. Since its founding, the NAACP has worked hard to thwart racial, educational, social, and economic inequality. One of the first major Supreme Court cases that the NAACP became an influential part of was Brown v. Board of Education. The court ruled that state laws establishing separate public schools for black and white students was unconstitutional. This Supreme Court case has become an extremely influential part of history and educational reform. Since the ruling of Brown v. Board of Education, the NAACP has continued to make strides in the area of educational equality. In December 2012, the NAACP released a report entitled Finding Our Way Back to First, Reclaiming World Leadership by Educating All America's Children, which identifies the best practices for educating all of America's children. According to the report issued by the NAACP, one of the challenges under the umbrella of effective teaching is that there is a lack of diversity in the teaching workforce. 16.5% of teachers are teachers of color, while 45% of students are of color. To address this problem, the NAACP suggests strengthening the teacher preparation pipeline through the promotion of comprehensive Grow Your Own programs to diversify the teaching workforce and enhance the knowledge, skills, and practices of teachers working with students of color. There has been much discussion by politicians and policymakers to implement strategies that would encourage people of color to become teachers. In fall 2010, U.S. Secretary of Education Arne Duncan launched a national initiative, Teach.gov, to recruit the next generation of teachers. Duncan emphasized one particular objective for the program: building a more diverse teaching force. Duncan states, "I'm very concerned that increasingly our teachers don't reflect the great diversity of our nation's young people, and so making sure we have more teachers of color coming into education is going to be a significant part of this Teach campaign." In the following clip, Duncan speaks more about his views of why more African Americans should be in the teaching workforce, specifically African American males.
Tell us why you are advocating to get more African American males into classrooms, recruiting them to become teachers.
As a country, we have a huge challenge to make sure many more of our students and many more of our young black boys are successful. And our graduation rates have to go up dramatically. Our dropout rates have to go down. To get there, I'm convinced we have to have more men of color teaching, being role models, being mentors, and doing it not just at the high school, but at the elementary grades. And when I ran the Chicago Public Schools, I had 600 schools, visited almost every single one of them, and I'd go to entire elementary schools and not see one black man.
What do you get from that experience, you believe, from having the black male teaching in classrooms in urban areas where you have large black student populations?
First of all, let me say, I think all of our students benefit. White, black, Hispanic boys and girls benefit from having strong black males in the classroom, but particularly our young black males. I was down in New Orleans to give the commencement speech at Xavier last week and spent some time with a number of phenomenal young black male teachers from around the country who are part of the Freedom Schools, the Children's Defense from Marion Wright Edelman's program. And it was amazing to talk to them. It was an absolutely inspiring conversation.
So what's the big deal about having teachers of color in the classroom? There is emerging evidence that shows that teachers of color are more effective with students of color than their white counterparts. Teachers of color are more likely to hold abiding high expectations of students of color, implement culturally relevant pedagogy, develop caring and trusting relationships with students, confront issues of racism through teaching, and serve as advocates for students of color. So what's the reason for this shortage? According to the Center for American Progress, the first reason is that high school graduation, an absolute requirement for becoming a teacher, eludes many Black, Latino, and Native American students. Graduation rates are 56%, 54%, and 51% for Latino, Black, and Native American students, respectively. The second reason for shortage of teachers of color, according to the United Negro College Fund, is the rise in employment opportunities for black college graduates. Why be a teacher when you can be an engineer, a chemist, a lawyer, or a doctor? The third reason is that many current teachers of color are frustrated by the low autonomy given to them. Policymakers and educational reform organizations have proposed the following strategies to increase teacher diversity in the classroom. Increase federal oversight of and increase accountability for teacher preparation programs. Create statewide initiatives to fund teacher preparation programs aimed at low-income and minority teachers. Strengthening federal financial aid programs for low-income students entering the teaching field. Reduce the cost of becoming a teacher by creating more avenues to enter the field and increase the number of qualified credentialing organizations. And finally, strengthen state-sponsored and nonprofit teacher recruitment and training organizations by increasing standards for admission. As you can see, the benefits of having teachers of color in the classroom justifies the need for more recruitment of teachers of color. Students of color have the possibility of excelling even more with the support of a teacher who looks just like them.
Teach me how to dug it, ayy. They be like, smooth, what? Can you teach me how to dug it? You know why? Cause all the girls love it, ayy. All I need is a beat that's super bumpin'. And for you to back it up and dump it. Get it. Put your arms out front, lean side to side. They gon' be on you when they see you hit that Dougie ride. Ain't nobody getting with my bro from on the side. He go by Bubba and he hit that dance like thunder. Okay, I ain't from Dallas, but I deep town boogie. I show my moves off to everybody trying to do me. I lead the functions and all the ladies trying to screw me. Now you just do you, and I'ma do me. All day. Dudes love to hate, so they try to screw me. Females be stuck to me, I think they try to glue me. I make the